What's up, everybody? Tonight is Monday Night Raw. We got Triple H, Shawn Michaels in the house. They're going to be addressing the attack by Kane and the Undertaker. Now, part of me is excited, right? The mark in me is excited because I like watching these guys that I used to love, and I still obviously love. But you can't just put sparkly colors on an ugly dress. You can't just throw pretty looking frosting on a cake that tastes disgusting, because that is what Raw is. It doesn't matter. The one thing that makes these storylines or the situation with the veterans a little bit better is the fact that the veterans have probably some kind of input in on it. Shawn Michaels and Triple H and everybody, they've got some input on the whole thing, and they had to agree to things. So that there's some kind of validity there in a storyline, as opposed to the week-to-week storylines we see pushed on the younger, more meek talent that's afraid to speak up and say, hey, you know something? What I'm doing on Raw tonight is raw-tarded, so we're not going to do it. But they don't have that kind of pull. And quite frankly, for the most part, they really will never have that pull, because they'll never be allowed to come out of the character, the shell that they're in. They'll never be able to break through the shell. If they ever are, it's if they're in the company for 8 to 10 years, and you finally knock down the door and say, hey, Vince, it's me. We're not doing this. Why don't you do this instead? And then finally they listen to you, right? Or you can be like Cody Rhodes, who has a good suggestion, but they tell you, sorry, that interferes with Roman. And then you get punted out of there. So, I don't have, as much as I like seeing Triple H, HBK tonight. By the way, Trish Stratus is going to be here tonight too, guys. It's going to be crazy. But all these little Band-Aids over the pouring open wound isn't going to help, because we know the writing sucks week to week. But at least I'm somewhat interested in this because of the old-timers. Now, there's a lot of people that have turned on this and have said, just retire already and stuff like that. So, it for everybody, so you think everybody's on the same page with, well, at least we all like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker and Kane getting involved. And there's really a loud group of people that are just like, no, please stop. I don't want to see you anymore. Stop this. You're ruining everything you did. The Undertaker's going past his prime. He should have retired 3 years ago, and it would have been amazing. Triple H, maybe, well, see, Triple H can still go a little bit. That's the thing. He's the guy that still kind of wrestles. The style that Triple H wrestles, he's able to still wrestle that style. Now, I don't know if Shawn Michaels can wrestle the style that he always wrestled. I'm not sure. You never bet against Shawn Michaels because he's so, just his shape, he's always been just known, his athleticism and charisma. But I think that obviously you wouldn't think that the shaving of the head would have anything to do with it, but it's crazy how it does. It's weird. It's all anybody mentions now, like, oh, he's bald and stuff, and everybody's freaking out. And you're like, yeah, so what? It's still Shawn Michaels. It doesn't matter if his hair's long, But it really has. It really has had a big effect on a lot of people, helping them make those kind of old man in the walker statements. Now, I never liked when Shawn Michaels self-hated, by the way. And before I talk about that real quick, close this out with the self-hate on Shawn, I want to mention that I put up my final thoughts on UFC 229. So go over to Patreon. I have never seen this amount of comments on a Patreon episode of Morning Madness. Jesus. There's like 40 comments on my final thoughts because so many people hate McGregor. And I guess, I saw it one way. I put up 2 videos on the Corrupted YouTube channel. If you haven't watched them, you need to be subbed over there. youtube.com/corruptedpodcast. I also put up my final thoughts on Patreon. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Of course, Corrupted is up there. The audio for Corrupted is there as well. And the link for every episode of Morning Madness and Corrupted is available on joecroninshow.net. And I also linked it on Patreon. But, dude, I'm almost like, dude, I never want to get involved in MMA. People are crazy. It's crazy. They're all fighting with everybody. It's worse than, like, regular sports. That's why I stay out of regular sports for the most part, because everybody just gets angry. So, but God damn it, dude. people always telling me, do MMA, Joe, do MMA. Oh my God, I don't think I ever want to do MMA again, aside from covering the pay-per-views randomly like I always have been. Because Jesus, you know, from what I saw, you know, Khabib jumped out of the cage and attacked one of Conor's dudes who was talking trash. And then Conor tried to get out of there and he got held down. And then Khabib's guy went to go outside too, which would have made it, you know, another guy getting out there. So Conor punched him in the face on the top of the cage. And then 3 of Khabib's guys tried to fight Conor in the ring. So, in the octagon, whatever. I'm going to say ring because I'm talking about wrestling all the time. And, you know, I don't know, I just think they're all kind of pussies at this point. I just think they're all bitches, you know. And there's a lot of people like, if you talk about a man's family, or if you talk about a man's religion, or whatever, like, you deserve that. Is that really true? Like, people really think that? So, like, I'm like, kind of disconnected, I guess, from people. I didn't know that, you know, if you say that someone's mother sucks or something like that, they're supposed to come find you and hurt you. You know, I didn't know that we still lived in that kind of, like, retard fucking climate. So I didn't realize that. If I had known that, I wouldn't watch UFC. So I guess the answer... So, like, I don't think I'll ever cover UFC again. Because from what I see is Conor's always trying to sell the fight, you know, and talk a bunch of trash on purpose to sell the fight like an idiot. And then the other guy tries to fight him. But this guy, Khabib, won. He beat him, you know? And when you beat a guy like this, it's like, that's the sweetest thing. It's like, what do you got? There's nothing you can say now. You just lost the fight. But then, you know, Khabib took it to another level. So, I don't know. I gave all my opinions on it on Corrupted YouTube channel and on Patreon. And I'm just confused by people, I suppose. I'm not really sure. But all I know is, yeah, I may not talk about UFC ever again because it just seems like a bunch of crybabies. But that being said, back to Shawn Michaels. So, yeah, I'm sick of him treating himself like an old man, being down on himself. Like, when he comes to the ring, he jogs and he acts like he's out of breath. He's been doing this for years, by the way. Like, years he's been doing this. He just acts old. He's like, oh boy, that was a hard run. That was blah, blah, blah. And I think he was even doing that before he was retired. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. He just, the way it's like, no, man, come out and be Shawn Michaels. I don't care if you're retired. Remember when Shawn Michaels came out and he was the commissioner and he was retired? He still kind of came out with a little bit of Shawn Michaels. Like, I'm Shawn Michaels, you know? I mean, he certainly was probably strung out as well on drugs, but he came out there, you know, like he was still the boss, you know? Just come out here like you're Shawn still. Triple H comes out here like Triple H. I'm going to bet that if Triple H hadn't been in the ring in 5 to 10 years, the Triple H still comes out like, I'm the game. You know, he's not going to come out like, you know, how Shawn Michaels acts all like daddy-like now. He acts like old grandpa is what he does. So, you know, I don't think Trish Stratus might even do that tonight. She'll come out and raise her hand and be like, yay! And then everybody will smile and be happy and yay. Yeah. But so there's all that. But I wanted to take the time real quick to tell you guys, thank you to everybody who signed up on Patreon. And here's the deal. I'm going to be making a video about like the Better You thing or whatever's been going on with this ridiculous company that's been saying, that's been having, it's like a scam that's going on. I've heard from multiple people about this counseling scam app that seems to be orchestrated or whatever by Philip DeFranco. Just more scummy stuff from him and all these stupid YouTubers. Some of these guys, I really can't stand them. Ugh. Like, oh my God, I'm going to talk about it over on youtube.com/corruptedpodcast. So come over to my Corrupted YouTube channel because I'm going to be talking about it over there soon. There's going to be a video. Also, thanks to everybody who's on the Discord. The Discord link is down below. You know, make sure you're in there somehow. If you're a $10 or more patron, make sure you let me know what your Discord name is so I can VIP you on the Discord because we're going to be doing some discussions of Discord soon. or discourse. I don't remember what the hell we called it. We're probably gonna come up with a new name for the Discord hangout, but it'll be a lot of fun. Then that's it, man. We're getting ready for Raw. I don't know how we're all gonna stay awake. I don't know how I'm gonna stay awake to get to Raw, let alone during Raw. So I may take a nap soon, at some point, just to be ready, and then I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, or I'll go to Dunkin's, fucking idiots, and I'll get a coffee, and I'll come home, and hopefully I won't fall asleep, but probably what happens, like every week, I'll drink a thing of coffee, I'll still be tired during Raw, I'll still want to take a nap, and then I'll become wide awake at like midnight or 1 in the morning, and then I won't be able to sleep, and my whole days will be screwed up. And I blame it all on Raw, because if I didn't have a show, I would put Raw. I probably would put Raw on. You know, like if I wasn't doing YouTube, I wasn't doing the show, I might put Raw on and probably fall asleep during the first hour, and then probably wake up the next day, and then probably not give a shit about watching the rest of it, but be like, well, it's like when I was when you were a kid, you stayed up late to watch Raw. You know, when I was a kid, and by the way, there was a few months where I didn't watch Raw as a kid because I thought it was lame. Around when I was 13, around WrestleMania 13 time, you know, I kind of started tuning out a little bit, or maybe around WrestleMania 12 time, actually. I tuned out a little bit. And the funny thing is, then it was awesome, and you couldn't, like, you stayed up to, it's crazy to me, you stayed up to watch Raw. Like, kids around the, like, country and the world, maybe, I don't know, you stayed up to, not around the world because time's difference, but, you know, in America, you stayed up to watch Raw. Kids everywhere begged their parents to stay up to watch Raw. And nowadays, it's, you struggle to stay awake to watch Raw. Even the younger kids struggles to stay awake to watch Raw. That is incredibly crazy and ironic to me. That when I was 14 and 15 and 13, you stayed awake to watch Raw. You begged to stay up. And nowadays, oh my God, Raw is melatonin. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm thinking about deleting my Twitter. I posted something about that the other night. Just fuck Twitter, you know? It's become depressing to watch, to not be able to have to keep trying to get back to follow. It's become enraging to have to get back to following that I had on Twitter once. So, @CorruptedPod on Twitter. My Twitter account is @CorruptedPod. @CorruptedPod. Follow me. Get the alerts, and I'll help you alert you when videos are up on Twitter as well. Patreon also. Obviously, Patreon, you'll definitely get an alert. So make sure you do all that so you don't miss my videos. See you tonight after Monday Night Raw. Make sure you go sub my other YouTube channel too, Corrupted, if you like those sort of things. If you want to talk about things that aren't wrestling.